Hi, I'm Andrew Breckfeld, and I'm going to show you all the parts of a guitar and how it works. There are three main parts: the head, the neck, and the body. The body houses all the electronics. You play on the neck, and the head deals with the tuning. Now, standard tuning for a 6-string guitar is E, A, D, G, B, E. And I learned that from ultimateguitar.com when I had started to learn how to play. And in order to tune them, what you do is you move these knobs, and what it'll do is it'll tighten one of the strings. So if you wanted to go higher, you'd rotate it counterclockwise. If you wanted to go lower, the other way. And since this one has a locking tremolo, you'd have to loosen these Allen screws here, because it holds the strings down and locks them in place to keep the tuning. And then once you actually play a note on it, for instance E, how it works is it vibrates, and the string is made of a metal. It's nickel and steel, I believe, and it goes over the pickups. And the pickups have magnets in them, and the magnets react with it, and it gives off a small current. Now you can have a variety of pickups. These happen to be humbuckers, which are the equivalent of 2 single coil, and I have a single coil to show you here. Thank you, Kev. And this one in the middle is a single coil, and they give off they're more of a twangy kind of, I don't know, Eric Clapton, Crossroads kind of sound. The humbuckers are good for getting a thicker, fuller sound, I think anyway. I don't know, it's just preference. But as I mentioned before, it is a locking tremolo. So what happens down here is the strings are cut off. They have ball ends on them, and if you cut those off, you stick them in. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's a little spot in here, and essentially it's like a little clamp. And you tighten it from the underneath here, and it locks it in place. And now the reason for locking it in place is so you can go a complete slack on the strings when you use the whammy bar, which is called the tremolo arm. But you can get complete slack out of it, as you might be able to see. The strings will go completely slack, and in order to get it to come back up, they have this, I believe, has 2 springs in it, and they attach to this thing's a plate, and it attaches to that, and then it attaches to the body inside underneath here, and you have to level it out, the tension between the strings and the springs, to get this to be flush with the body, is how it's supposed to be. This one's a little off, but it's good. From the pickups, it goes to this switch here, which this switch chooses which pickup you want to use. Right now it's down, which means it's using this pickup, and this pickup gets more treble because when the string vibrates, it's going to vibrate more in the center than it will at the ends. So you're going to get more treble out of this one. And for a thicker, fuller sound, you can flip it up and it'll go to this one. But most of the time you play with it down. Then from there it goes over to here, and you have 2 volume knobs, one for each pickup. And then you have a tone control, which adjusts your treble and your bass. And from there, it will go out the output jack. If you have a cord, you can run it to an amplifier, which I can show you an amplifier here. This is just a small practice one, but it'll run to that. It's very important to have a good amplifier, because you could have an amazing guitar, but without a good amp, you're going to sound bad. There are alternatives to the tremolo. You could have a fixed bridge guitar, which I also have an example of. This is a fixed bridge guitar. Instead of the string stopping on the plate itself, they run over this bridge here, is what it's called. And it stops vibrating at the bridge, and that's just how it works. And this is a string through, which means the strings go through the body, and the ball ends actually catch inside of there. And this one does not have a locking nut on it. For the Floyd Rose version of a floating tremolo, you have fine tuners in here, and what they do is they actually push down on the part that clamps the string, thus raising it or lowering the pitch of it. I don't know if you can see it, but Those are the fine tuners, and here's where the clamp things are. And that's about it. Alright, Kyle shut off the camera before I could show you my audience. I apologize. Here's my audience. We have Adam McDermott sitting in the corner. We got Kyle Gall up here with the shades. And we got Bryce Link sitting there. And that is my audience.
I am Kyle Gall.